Okay, so in this tutorial, I'm gonna be showing you how to use the command line, and the version of it that I'll be using is the Git Bash. And to get Git Bash, we're simply just gonna go here, type Git, and go into the downloads. And I'm using Windows, but you can use Mac and Linux for this as well. And then let's just close that, assuming you downloaded it. I already have mine here. So now we're gonna open Git Bash, and we're gonna just learn about how to navigate in it, right? Because there's three major commands that you need to know to use it, right? The first one I'd say is pwd. This will say the location of where you are. And if you don't understand this, let me explain it, right? So it's basically the same as a file explorer, right? So you'll go to here, and let's just go to this PC, and then we'll hit the C drive, right? And it's called ASOC and then colon, right? But it should just be C for most of everyone, or C and colon. And that's the same part as here, right? And then you'll see a list here, right? And that's one of the users is one of the folders inside of the list. So we're gonna double click on that, and then you'll see your computer's username, William, in this list of folders, right? So I'm gonna click on that, and now when I click on the top here, at the top, it'll tell me C/users/William. That's the same exact thing that's on the Git Bash. So now we know where we are. The next thing we should know is what's in our folder, right? Because if you look here, you'll have a list of all the folders. But in the terminal, you don't have images. So you have to use the command ls. And it'll print all of the file names inside of it into the terminal. So now that you know the list of file names, right, you'll find desktop, just like you'll find it here. And we're just going to go and do the command that's effectively the same as double-clicking on a file. So you see how we double-clicked on that, and now we're here. So I'm going to do cd, and then I'm going to do desktop. And you got to make sure that the capitalization is correct, otherwise it'll fail you. So now we're in desktop, and we have knowledge of the basic commands, right? But the next question is, right, every single time you move into something, its name is in the list. But let's say you want to go from desktop and go up a level to William, which should be a computer's name, by the way. It's William in my case. So we're going to do cd, and then ... and that'll bring us up from out of desktop into William. Right, so let's do pwd just to see where we are. And you see it went out of desktop and now in William. So the reason why ... is not visible, even though you can change it to the directory, is because it's kind of an invisible command, an invisible location, right? So if we go into desktop, just so it's less cluttered, we can do ls, right, just like we always have, but we're going to do ls-a, and you'll see as you scroll up to the very top, right where I typed it, it'll say dot and ... right? And ... is the file location, and it's hidden because it starts with the period. And that's how these things apply. And if you're curious what dot is the file you're currently in, right? So you can you don't only use it to change directory, these file names, you'll use them for a bunch of things. But for now, we're just using it for that. So desktop is dot in this scenario, and William is dot dot. So now that you know that, we're gonna try and do a little more of the advanced commands, right? Things that would be very handy if you were doing more than just using it for GitHub and Git stuff. So now we're gonna do, now that we're in desktop, let's do make directory, which is the same thing as a folder. And what this command does is the same as basically going new and then folder, right? And we're going to just say, we're going to do test, right? Make directory test. And you'll see right here on my desktop, it just popped in a little folder. So now we're going to go cd, and then we're going to go test, right? And you'll find test has a new folder that we made, right? So let's just do ls, and it's blank, right? That's good. Now the next thing you should know is how to make a file, right? Which has runnable commands in it, or text, right? So we're going to do touch, and the touch command is the command that makes files, not folders, right? And we're going to do that. And now we're going to do ls. And inside of our folder, we just created the file example.txt. Now let's just open this up here and then open it, right? And let's just put some gibberish inside of example.txt. And now that it's saved and closed, we should be able to look inside of it, right? So we are going to be you can't, the terminal has a function that's even better than the file explorer in this way, right? So we can do the cat command, and then the cat command looks inside, so it's cat, and we're gonna go and type example, and we'll get the text that we were looking for, right? The text that we typed in. Now, something you might have noticed is I've been typing rather fast, right? Well, I have a shortcut, you see. So whenever there's a file name and it's pretty long, right, you can use the tab key, right? So the tab key will autocomplete, and it'll look for anything that can fill the command that you've put in. So in this case, I've put cat, I've typed out cat, and now it's gonna say, okay, what can fill cat when in the list, right? And the only thing in this list is example.txt. So we're going to do cat and then hit tab, and it just auto-completes the text because it assumes that. But in other cases, if there's more than one file, you can do cat E or cat X, and it'll just narrow it down and help it predict, right? Another key that you might want to know besides tab is the up arrow key. It'll do your last command, and that's very helpful for if you just misspelled something and you want to retry it. So there's one more way. And now we are going to learn about some more basic things, just like removing a file the same way we would delete here. And we are just going to use the commands for that, right? So it's rm, which is sort for remove, and then rf, which means don't prompt and delete it no matter what, right? And then we're gonna do example. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Example.txt, right? And I just tabbed it to complete. And now you'll see it disappeared even on the file explorer. And let's do list, and it's not there anymore, right? Another few commands I'll need to make. Let me just make a new folder, test.txt, right? And list, and then we're gonna go and open here and put this is a test, right? Now let's just save that, close it, and do cat one more time, just oops. And then you see I did the up arrow key, and then I did tab, and it auto-completed it. And then this is a test, or misspelled. And now we want to copy it, right? Let's say you want to copy, just like you would in here. You would create copy, and then you would paste, right? Now the same thing could apply here. So you can just go cp, the name of the file, and and then we are going to name the new the new file's name. All right, so we're gonna type thing, right, .txt, and we're gonna do list, and I just copied this here, so let me just delete that to make it simpler. Right, and now we got test and thing.txt, and you want to make sure that it's a copy and not just another text file I created, right? So let's do cat, and this is a thing dot this is a test, yeah. Okay, now we're gonna do now we are going to move it, right? So let's make a new directory just to move it into, right? So we'll do test2, right? And then we'll move, which is mv, into test2. So we're going to move thing.txt, and then we're going to do into, or we're just going to type the name test2. And then we're going to do ls, and you'll see it's not here anymore because it's been moved. So we're going to go into cd test2, and then look inside, and then it's thing.txt. And now let's say we want to go up a level into test now, so we're going to do cd ... list, and now we are going to yeah, well, that's it really. These are the most basic commands. There's plenty of more complicated things. So yeah,